What is going on, everybody? Welcome back into TTP Sports. We got a little bit of, I would say breaking news, but it's been so long a day until I've been able to do the stream. So we'll get some belated breaking news. I guess, is that how we describe it? Belated breaking news. It happened around, like, what was it, like 12 o'clock, 12:30 or something like that. Seriously, I've had a very busy weekend. I had to do a lot of shopping the past couple of days, and there's no difference for today, this afternoon, with my father going into Jersey for other stuff that involves around, surprise presents and for the family and all that. So that's basically what I've been doing this entire weekend. So I do apologize for the lack of content the past couple of days. I've been very busy, as you can see. Holidays, it gets very busy around here. But, couldn't pass this up. I don't think any of us could pass this up. I don't think any of us expected this to happen today. No Eagles. They'll play till tomorrow. Monday Night Football, Kansas City Chiefs. Who else but fucking the Phillies and Dave Dombrowski to make some breaking news on a Sunday afternoon, again, without Eagles. So, thank you, Dave, for making my Sunday interesting to go along with a nice Sixers win and, a Flyers currently, beating the Columbus Blue Jackets 4-2. I like that. Dave Dombrowski trying to get the Phillies name into the mix of all the Phillies sports teams that are, going along in the, these next 2 days. Phillies got to get their word in. So getting to the actual fucking news, because I've never said it yet, even though you see it in the in the title of the stream, the Phillies bring back Aaron Nola. That was the biggest thing that was talked about this offseason, basically ever since the Phillies choked that NLCS to the Diamondbacks. Going into the season press conferences, after season press conferences, Dave Dombrowski, the biggest number one thing that they were talking about the entire offseason was trying to bring Aaron Nola back. And if they weren't able to do that, it was going to be someone to replace Aaron Nola. And Aaron Nola is brought back. And I think he took a serious pay cut to stay in Philadelphia, because there definitely would have been a good amount of teams that probably would have paid for him, because he's a guy that eats innings. He can give you over 200 innings a year. He'll strike a lot of guys out. He'll be Mr. Reliable for you. Very durable. He'll be number 2, number 3. He's probably a number 1 in most teams' rotations at this point. Let's be honest here. I know there's a lot of people in my, subscription feed in my chat that are not very high on Aaron Nola. They don't think he's he's more of a number 3 and a number 4. I think that's a little bit downgrading him, in my honest opinion. I don't think that's a little bit fair. And in most teams around the Major League Baseball, Aaron Nola at best is a 1 on most teams, a number 1 and a number 2. Phillies fans give him a little bit of a bad rep, and yes, he did not have the best of seasons, but he had a fantastic playoffs besides Game 6 of the NLCS. Let's just ignore that. He was fantastic for you this postseason, and looking at this offseason, market-wise, was just terrible. There really wasn't much on the market. Aaron Nola, Blake Snell, Sonny Gray guys on the market. Shohei Ohtani is the big target here, but he's not going to pitch next season, and it wouldn't make sense for the Phillies to go after Shohei Ohtani because he's only going to be your DH, and that wouldn't make sense, and it wasn't realistic for the Phillies. Yamamoto's out there, big free agent from Japan. A lot of teams are going to be interested in him. I'm sure the Phillies are still going to be interested in him, regardless of what's going on with Aaron Nola right now, because there were some reports about the Phillies being, heavily involved in the Yamamoto sweepstakes. You got a couple of Phillies, major beat reporters. Jim Salisbury said it on WYP. I believe Alex Coffey said it. I'm trying to think of what other Phillies reporters said it that was involved in the entire situation, but there were a good amount of Phillies reporters that did bring it up. Also, some national guys as well, but we'll get into that more of that as we go along here. But then all of a sudden this afternoon, you see from Bob Nightingale, out of all people, out of all fucking people, because he normally gets shit wrong. He says that, the Phillies and Aaron Nola, they're getting actually pretty close to a deal right here. They're getting close to doing something. So that is very interesting right there. We're going to see how things go. Then sooner or later you see, Ken Rosenthal say something like that to confirm the reports. A bunch of Phillies beat reporters confirming the reports that they're getting close to an extension. And then you eventually get the report that Aaron Nola signs an extension with the Philadelphia Phillies for 7 years between $170 to $175 million. And then the official report about how much money he's actually being making came out. The full contract, 7 years, $172 million. I believe that's just under $25 million annually if I'm trying to do the math off top of my head. I can't do the math off top of my head because I haven't mathed in a while. So, just bear with me right now. So if we do 172 divided by 7, $24.5 million a season. And I think the full details of the contract are out yet. Bob Miguel posted it. 7-year, $172 million contract. 24.57 million each season, no trade clause, and no opt-outs. So Aaron Nola, he is a Philly for the next 7 years of his life until he's like 37 years old or something like that. What is he, 29, 30 years old? So yeah, Philly for life, man. Philly for life. Imagine at the end of his contract what type of records, because he's getting up there in the Phillies record books in terms of starting pitchers. So he's been a Philly lifer for his entire career. Imagine what the records he possibly could break when that contract ends. He could be one of the all-time Phillies pitchers in franchise history. That's just the way it's going to be at that point. So, yeah. It's good stuff, man. It's great stuff. Like I said, I know there's a lot of people that are down on Nola. I know some people that said in the comments, of the post I did on YouTube, preparing you guys for this, that say, maybe a little too much term, maybe a little overpaid. To counter that, that's the going rate for a lot of these pitchers. The one thing that we all knew going into basically the entire season, that the Phillies and Aaron Nola, I believe, were fine on the money. They just couldn't agree on the term. Because I believe Aaron Nola, it was always reported that he wanted 8 years, around $200 million. The Phillies countered that what I believe it was 5-6 years at $150 million. So they met in the middle. So that is something that we can really go off here and just be very proud of at this point, because you get Aaron Nola at a steal, and it's already been reported that he turned down many more offers that were more expensive, and there were teams especially the Atlanta Braves that were pushing to get Aaron Nola, because Atlanta, they moved some money, they shed some payroll, they got some money to possibly spend in this offseason, even though we're not really used to seeing the Atlanta Braves go out and spend the big bucks in the offseason, just because they got their entire core locked up for long term at such cheap prices. Atlanta looked like they were going to be one of the teams that was heavily involved in the Nola sweepstakes, and the not the Flyers. I'm thinking I have Flyers on the top of my head right now because I'm watching them with 2.5 minutes to go, leading the Blue Jackets 4-2 with a 4-on-4 and an empty net for the Blue Jackets, going to try to win their 5th in a row. So my brain is all over the place right now. But you get Aaron Nola, Braves, most likely they were going to be the heavy, people possibly trying to get Nola. And Nola turned down a lot of contracts. I think it's from John Heyman. Yeah, John Heyman said that Aaron Nola turned down better deals and more offers to stay in Philadelphia for more money. Well, for less money. He turned down better offers with more money from other teams to stay with the Phillies. He took a hometown discount because that's how badly he wanted to stay in Philadelphia. As how much we give him a bad rep here, when he is on, we show him his support, the support that he deserves, and the excellence that he can have. Aaron Nola is a good pitcher in this league, regardless of what some people think of or some people downgrade him to be. He is a number 2, number 1 in most rotations in Major League Baseball. He would probably be the number 1 on this team if it wasn't for Zack Wheeler. And who knows, Zack Wheeler could be coming up to an extension at any point at this time, because there's going to be some rumors circling around that, because I believe this is going to be the final year of his contract. So there's going to be a lot of talks surrounding that. There's even talks already surrounding about Bryce Harper even extending again when his contract expires and when he's 39 years old. And he's already been talking reports that he wants to play until he's fucking, 50? Until he's in his 40s. So why not? Extend Bryce Harper till he's freaking 65. I don't even care. He could probably still smack 20 bombs at 60 years old because he's just that much of a freak athlete at that point. And a lot of people are complaining about the term with Aaron Nola. I don't care what's going on with the 2030 Phillies. I personally don't give a shit what's going to happen in 2030, what's going to happen in 2029, 2030, 2031, when a lot of these contracts are getting near to the end, and a lot of these guys that are, locked up on your team are going to be in the back stages of their career. Now, Aaron Nola, Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, who else? If JT Realmuto's even here that much longer, but basically that main part of the core. For those guys that are going to be here for a long period of time, I don't care what's going to be possible with that Phillies team in that part of the future. I care about the current present-day Phillies. I care about what's going to happen in 2024 when you still have a lot of your, roster, your team intact in their primes that just come off a very heartbreaking collapse in the NLCS following another heartbreaking loss in the World Series in 2022. Granted, it wasn't a series that they were supposed to lose. It was a series that they were supposed to lose. So granted that against the better Houston Astros team, but then high expectations in 2023 this year. They go into a series against an Arizona Diamondbacks squad that they should have beat, and they collapsed. That's basically the bottom line there. And now they have a lot to prove this offseason. They have a lot to prove this upcoming 2024 season because they want to get back to that, peak. They want to get back to that top that they could be at. And I'm sure all, things are barred down here to bring a World Series commissioner trophy back to the city of Philadelphia as the Flyers bury the empty net goal to make it 5-2, and it looks like they're going to win their 5th game in a row. It looks like Cam York got that goal, so good for him there. So who knows, man? I love the contract. I love this contract, regardless of what, people say. Aaron Nola is a good pitcher in this league. He's a good pitcher in this league. He's a good pitcher in this league. He's a good pitcher in this league. We can't forget that. We just cannot. It's the one thing that just bothers me. Oh, Aaron Nola. Oh, all this stuff. Oh, 7 years, way too much. Oh, way too much money. It's going rate for pitchers in this day and age. And especially with Aaron Nola being one of the top pitchers of the market, he would have got more. He would have gotten more. I'm trying to think of the other teams that he could possibly sign with. Atlanta, of course, they were one of the teams that was interested in the Nola sweepstakes. I'm sure, the Yankees definitely were probably going to be involved. We all thought the St. Louis Cardinals. We all thought the St. Louis Cardinals were going to be involved. But this comes from, I believe, one of the Cardinals beat reporters from the St. Louis Post. Yeah, Derek Gold of the St. Louis Post, he posted that about, after Aaron Nola got re-signed with the Phillies. He said that the Cardinals never got to the point of making an offer to Aaron Nola or meeting with the pitcher. They were not a team that actively engaged in trying to lure him away from returning to the Phillies like other NL clubs, according to source. So I'm trying to think. Besides the Braves, what other teams probably offered Nola money? I would assume it's the Braves, like I said. I would assume the Dodgers did. Other NL teams, maybe the Cubs. That are trying, go out and make the playoffs. Maybe the Giants. The Padres are trying to shed payroll. They're not trying to pay someone. Maybe the Mets. I'm just trying to think of other teams that are around here. If it's not the Cardinals. Yeah, I can only think of, besides the Phillies, the Braves, the Mets, the Dodgers, and maybe the Giants. Because I don't see, Miami offering money. Maybe the Cubs, like I said. So, yeah, the Braves, the Mets, the Dodgers, the Giants, and maybe the Cubs. That's what I would expect in the American League. I would assume the Yankees were involved. There are definitely some other American League teams that were involved, so I wouldn't be shocked if that's the case. But Aaron Nola's back. He took a hometown discount, left a lot more money on the table. The return to Philadelphia, $172 million. It's like, what else? What else could you want, man? I know Yamamoto's out there, and the Phillies definitely have saved some money off the books from getting Aaron Nola at this point this cheap, because in terms of this is cheap for what Aaron Nola was probably going to make on the market, because from other teams, he was probably going to make above $200 million. That's what I would assume at this point. But that's also, speculation and everything, but I would assume he would have made at least $200 million on the market. So that's granted, you took a major discount to come back to Philly. But, they do save money by getting Nola back. They have more money to go out there and do some things. I'm sure Dave Dombrowski, this isn't the last thing he's going to do this entire offseason. He's going to make moves. And, yeah, there's been some reports that they are interested in Yamamoto still. I do remember seeing a post, I believe this was from Matt Gelb, after the entire Nola situation, or the entire Nola contract extension. So one of my buddies posted some screenshots from the Athletic article, and I want to try to find those quotes about the Gelb in terms of Yamamoto. Okay, here it is. Although the Phillies have increased their presence in Japan over the past 2 years, they face significant barriers in convincing Yamamoto to take their money. The interest in free agency must be mutual. The club will not be top bidders on Yamamoto after finalizing the Nola deal, sources said. So the Phillies, they're going to put their offer out there for Yamamoto, but they're not going to be the top suitor. Yamamoto's going to make above 200 mil. He's probably going to be, out of all the pitchers in the free agency market this year, especially since he's coming over from Japan, he's probably going to make more than Blake Snell. He's going to make more than Nola. He's going to make more than Sonny Gray. He's probably going to be the top soft pitcher from the market here. He's going to have a lot of offers coming over his way. So I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked what contract he gets. If he signs with the Phillies, he signs with the Phillies. But it doesn't sound like they're going to be top, players for him. Now, in terms of, other pitchers, if you're looking at the rotation right now, it's Zack Wheeler, Nola, Ranger Suarez, Taijuan Walker, most likely Christopher Sanchez at this point. I would like to make an upgrade still in the rotation in that bottom point because Taijuan Walker, I know he eats innings for you. He was good in the first half of the year, but then collapsed in the second half, was not used a single ounce in the postseason. In my honest opinion, could you try to move that contract to get another starter in this rotation that could be more reliable and you can actually use in the playoffs? And there's also reports out there that the Phillies could be going after another, Matt Strahm type of reliever that can, make a spot start here and there when there's an opportunity to give your rotation some rest here and there. So there's many options that Dave Dombrowski can do. And I'm actually really glad that he got this done and over with quickly. Got this Nola contract done. It's done. You don't have to worry about it the entire offseason. He's not holding out. You don't have to wait till spring training. You don't have to wait till February. You don't have to wait till the winter meetings during it and everything like that. You got it done. You got it done before all of that, to where you can focus on what else you want to do to improve this team in free agency or in the trade market, because Dave Dombrowski is not done. I don't believe he is done. He's probably going to go out there, maybe get another bat to supplement the bench or whatever the lineup or something like that. Maybe he makes a trade to move someone off the roster, because there's still those rumors out there about Corbin Burnes and all that stuff. Could you find a way to do that, to add Corbin Burnes to this freaking pitching rotation? That would be fucking fantastic. I'm just trying to think of all the other possibilities, because in terms of the free agency pitcher market, I don't think the Phillies are going to go after another starter in free agency, in my honest opinion, besides Yamamoto, and they're still not even going to be the top suitors. Sonny Gray, he's very linked to the Braves, so most likely I would assume he ends up there. Blake Snell, I have no idea where he's going to end up, in my honest opinion. In terms of bullpen guys, they go out and acquire whatever bullpen guys they got. But batters, maybe. There's some guys that could possibly be out there. I know Adam Duvall could be out there on the market. He could be a nice platoon option. You guys already know the Mike Trout rumors are going to be popping up this entire offseason, like I constantly say. They're going to be popping up. They're going to be popping up. They're going to be popping up. So you're going to have to wait for that entire stuff there. It's going to be throughout the entire offseason. Once you hear any type of rumor about Mike Trout, link to the Phillies. Link to the Phillies. Link to the Phillies. That's what's going to happen the entire offseason. But hey, you got the most important thing done, and now Dave Dombrowski can go out and do whatever he needs to do to supplement this roster. So they've also left some roster spots open from the Rule 5 draft situation, so maybe that also implies some other things, to where they can get some guys that they can add to the roster. So there's a lot of things that they can do there. But right now, I'm perfectly happy. I am perfectly happy. I love this contract for Nola, regardless of what some Negadelphians want to say. The market was terrible. The market was absolutely terrible. It was bring Nola back, or a shot in the dark to try to get Yamamoto. That was basically it. Because Blake Snell, as much as he's won the Cy Young, as much as the good season that he had last year, I just feel like his contract, that would be a contract that fucking backfires on you very soon, in my honest opinion. Because that walk rate that he had with that low of an ERA, it eventually evens out. That just concerns me a lot. It could be overly cautious, in my honest opinion. Maybe, some people want to call me overly cautious, because some of my buddies have called me overly cautious about that entire situation. But that's just how I feel. And Sonny Gray, he would have been a nice addition, but it wouldn't have been enough to replace Nola. No way in doubt. Nowhere close to replacing Nola's quality there. the amount of innings that Nola eats, the amount of, times that he can give you quality starts, go deep in the games and everything like that. It's hard to lose. It's hard to, make up. So you still got your 1-2 punch in Nola and Wheeler. And maybe if they can't go out and get another starting pitcher, maybe they extend Wheeler. And who knows, maybe they still will be in this whole Corbin Burns situation. I have no idea. Because that would be very fun to get if you can get Corbin Burns into this rotation. I'm going to put that into a grain of salt possibility, but you never know with Dave Dombrowski and his craziness, because I trust Dave Dombrowski with my entire life. I trust him. I love the guy. If anyone can get that type of trade done, it's Dave Dombrowski. So, like I said, there are so many things with this trade deadline. Not the trade deadline, the free agency and, the MLB offseason. You got the most important thing done. The most important goal was bringing back Nola. And you got it done. You got it done. And now you can do other stuff to improve this team, to improve this roster. And that's all you can ask for at this point. It just is. It just is. Man. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. I can't wait. I can't wait to see Aaron Nola for another 7 years. Like I said, I know we have some differentiating thoughts on Nola over the course of his career here in Philadelphia. You can't replace that, what he does, though. You can't replace what he does. Been the Cy Young conversation a couple of times. Has been one of the best pitchers in baseball at certain points throughout his career. He knows the city. He knows the fan base. And I'm sure he's ready to help them out and give us what we deserve. I'm firmly confident in it. I just am. Man. What a day, boys. What a day. Flyers get a win. Sixers win. Aaron Nola's back. What more can you ask for? What more can you ask for, boys? We don't know what else is going to happen this entire offseason. The Aaron Nola press conference, I believe that's going to happen tomorrow afternoon at 1:30, I believe that they said. So maybe we'll get some more news about, if Dave Dombrowski has any other plans for this offseason, which he most likely does. But we'll definitely, stay tuned for that to see if there's anything to poke at. But in terms of, tomorrow and everything, that's Eagles. Tomorrow's Eagles-Chiefs. That's the most important thing of the day. That's all we got to worry about right there. After this, I'll probably record a Flyers recap about this, 5th win in a row. I wanted to do a recap yesterday, but I wasn't home after the game. So I'll be able to talk about that in this recap after I'm done, this stream and everything like that. So, definitely stay tuned for all of that. But we do have some voicemails here in the Anytime Hotline. I'll get to some of you guys here in the live feed. Get some action here. So we do have a call here from Sean, and we do have a call here from Pat, who I believe is channel name. So thank you guys for leaving some voicemails. So let's get to Sean. I don't think Sean's in the chat right now, but let's see what Sean has to say about Aaron Nola coming back. Wait a second. I don't think this. There we go. Let me see. Where's it at? There we go.
Better in November. Who'd have thought?
There we go.
Look, we've talked about the Nola situation ad nauseum. Again, I'm not indifferent toward Aaron Nola being here. I mean, the money on the surface seems a little rich for me, but it's not my money, so if the Phillies choose to pay it, then so be it. Again, you're getting a guy that's going to give you 200 innings plus a year. He's going to make his starts, knows the city, has pitched in clutch games, etc. And he's one of your own. He's a homegrown guy. So for that, great, But my question is that all? Because I still think the Phillies need to go big game hunting. I mean, until Yamamoto signs elsewhere, I'm still in the hope that they can somehow land this guy. You give me a rotation of Wheeler, Yamamoto, Nola, Suarez, and let's say Christopher Sanchez. Now I like my chances. I think Yamamoto is a difference maker. I think he solidifies your top two and moves Nola down to the third slot where I think he more realistically belongs. And I hope the Phillies aren't done pursuing him. I mean, I still think there's room for another big move in the rotation, and I think Yamamoto is the guy in my crosshairs.
Well, yeah, that would be amazing if they can still go out there and get Yamamoto. But from the latest like reports and all that stuff, like when I brought up the Matt Gelb quote from the article from The Athletic, they're going to be involved in the sweepstakes, but they're not going to be the top bidder. They're just going to have to rely on if Yamamoto chooses them. They're not going to be the guy that tries, the team that tries to outbid anyone. So definitely, I would say keep your praises low for that, in my honest opinion. It would be fantastic if Yamamoto finds a way to choose Philadelphia and all that stuff. That would be absolutely fantastic. But I still think there's other ways that you can improve this rotation. Hell, like I said, Corbin Burns. Milwaukee, it's been reported that they're, listening to everybody on their roster. And, they also did not qualify Woodruff, even though it most likely he's missing, I believe, majority of the 2024 season. It would be a nice signing to have, for even though 2025, that's 2 years down the road, you want to sign, to try to win a World Series now. But if they're listening to Corbin Burns, I'm trying to go out there and get Corbin Burns to add to this rotation. Wheeler, Corbin, Nola, Ranger, Christopher Sanchez. Yeah, you would have to find a way to get rid of Taijuan Walker's contract and all that stuff. Maybe you can involve that in the trade to where, Milwaukee needs a pitcher in return. Like, there have been rumors about the Phillies trying to go out there and get Corbin Burns, so that would be an amazing pickup there. That would make your rotation insanely deeper. So that would be fantastic to be to have those chances. But I think right now the Yamamoto sweepstakes is just a little slim. They're going to make their changes to the bullpen. They're going to add some maybe long relief guys. I don't think they're getting Josh Hader. It just doesn't sound like that's going to be in their MO to pay big money for a closer. I just don't think that's going to happen as much as I would like it to happen, to have that solidified ninth inning guy. It's been the way they've been rolling the past couple of years. It's, closer by committee. They have their Jose Alvarado in certain situations. Seraphiny, Gregory Soto. I don't know think about Gregory Soto right now. Kerkering, whatever he could come in, come and be in 2024. Possibly, making it out of spring training. What could he be in this bullpen? And who knows? Who knows? I don't know what they could do. They can also, bring back some more bench pieces. Adam Duvall is a guy that's out there. He's a guy that would be intriguing to me in a platoon situation. Say if you don't go out there and get Mike Trout, he could platoon out there in center field, possibly with either, Rojas or something like that, or Marsh or something like that. Duvall would be a nice pickup. I think Jock Peterson's going to be a guy on the free agent market, but that's also another guy who's mainly a DH at this point in his career. There's options that they can go for. I trust Dave Dombrowski to make those moves, whether it's free agency, whether it's trades, etc., etc. I trust it. I trust him with my life. Let's get to the other voicemail here. Let's get to Pat. What do you got, Pat?
Hey, Amadio. It's a channel name. My name is Pat, and I just want to say I'm happy that we got Nola back, and I'm excited for the season, and I hope we get Yamamoto, and I hope we can also shore up our bullpen a little bit. Craig Kimbrell's going to be gone, and we're going to have to pick up a few more people. So I don't know if we want to get another pitcher and stuff, and a few more bullpen guys. That's what I'm more worried about. So just want to call the hotline. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Well, thank you for the call, Pat. And I appreciate you joining the live feed every time, trying to call. And the more you call in, the better you'll get. No worries. No worries. Yeah, I see your comment there. My voicemail was trash. Don't worry. If you call in more frequently, you'll get better at it. It takes time. It just takes time. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I appreciate the call. And yeah, in terms of the bullpen, basically just what I explained. And I don't think they're going to go out and get Josh Hader. They'll probably get some other guys to supplement the bullpen. Like some like one of my buddies did mention that he saw in some reports that they're probably to go out there and maybe get some, Matt Strom quality type pitchers to where they can make spot starts here and there to give the, the rotation an extra day of rest or something like that. So I wouldn't mind that, in my honest opinion. Matt Strom was a huge workhorse for you last year. He was really good last year, regardless in certain situations. Huge for you in the postseason and all that. So that would be nice to have. And like I said, they're back into the bullpen. I really do feel like they're trying to build up Kirkering to be the closer. So who knows what that could be in terms of the future. He's very young. He's very raw. So he's going to have to prove everything through spring training and all that stuff if he's even going to make the roster. Hector Neris could be an option. I just saw that comment, Sean. Hector Neris could be an option. You know, even though he's not going to be, you know, Hector the protector in the 9th inning because that's not his role. That's not what he was with the Astros. He was more of a 7th, 8th inning guy. Do you bring in Hector Neris to, you know, supplement the bullpen to where you can have a guy in the 7th inning, 8th inning? And then maybe you can use more, you know, of a Jose Alvarado in the 9th. That could be an option. I wouldn't mind bringing back Hector Neris. Took off by storm with the Astros, and he's just a really good 8th inning, 7th inning type of guy. He's just not a closer. That's what he was overused here because he was one of your better bullpen options. When I believe it was, 2021 or 2020 or something like that, where he struggled in the 9th inning, but then when he got moved back into the bullpen to be more of a 7th, 8th inning guy, he was dominant. So, yeah, I would love to bring back a Hector Neris to help supplement the bullpen. That would be a very nice addition, in my honest opinion. But in terms of other stuff, that's up to Dave Dombrowski to determine. Bullpen, bench, trades, and all that stuff to help the lineup out. We'll find out. We'll find out there. Get to see you guys in a live feed here before we end it off, and I go record the Flyers recap. So, definitely you guys, in terms of Flyers recap, leave a reaction to that game in the voicemail down in the hotline down below. So, Sean, if you want to leave a reaction down for the Flyers game in this 5-game win streak that they're on, leave it down at the Hotmail voicemail line. I would love to hear your thoughts about it. So, that's there. So, get to some of you guys here in the thing before we close it out. How about that connecting goal? Oh yeah, that connecting goal was a snipe. Harris with the troll, as expected. So happy Nola is back. Durability is hard to find exactly. Will Nola be worth 24 mil each year for 7 years from now? He was able to add a couple of years, which is good for him, not the Phillies. I just don't see Nola being successful. I don't care what happens at the back end of the contract. I care what happens in, years 1, 2, and 3. Because I do believe years 1, 2, and 3 is your best shot to win a World Series, in my honest opinion. I don't care what happens at the back end. If you win a World Series in that sequence, I don't care what happens at the back end. You completed the ultimate goal. Thought it would be 5 years. Well, Nola won a term. He probably wanted to stay somewhere long term for the rest of his career, so he got what he wanted. Turned 31 soon. I was 99% sure he was going to St. Louis. I hope we get at least one contact bat in the lineup. Oh yeah, Rangers could have been a team that probably would have gone after Nola. Do you think there's anything to the Mike Trout rumors? Oh, there definitely will be. Don't worry about that. I think it's bogus, TBH, the rumors that are out there. They're going to be connected to the entire offseason. I wanted Yamamoto so bad. The bidding war starts tomorrow. Oh yeah, he is getting posted tomorrow, so we'll definitely be hearing a lot of rumors around about that. Not worried about the pitching, TBH, besides replacing Kimbrel. The reason we lost in the playoffs is because too many of our hitters kept chasing. Yeah. Eagles win tomorrow. Yep, I'm very confident about the Eagles' chances. We need some changes with the starters to win. What do you mean, Sharon? What do you mean changes with the starters? Are you just talking about the lineup? Dave Dombrowski will make changes. Dave Dombrowski will make changes. So, yeah. I think that's going to do it for right now, everybody. I'm going to go and record my thoughts on the Flyers win after we close this stream down. Like I said, don't forget to leave your reactions on the hotline for this Flyers nice little 5-game win streak here. So definitely do that. But I do appreciate you for joining this, stream about Aaron Nola. Appreciate all you guys here. Like I said, I was busy the past couple of days, but, in terms of shopping and all that stuff, I like to get my Christmas shopping done so I don't have to worry about all the stress with mailing and all that crap with December and all getting closer and closer to Christmas. I'm mainly done. Still some other things that I got to do, but I would say like at least 80% done with my shopping. So got a lot of that stuff done. And I don't think my mother watches this because she doesn't really watch YouTube, and pays attention to most stuff. But today we were trying to, she asked for another cat this Christmas, so that's what we were doing. Me and my father, that's why we went out today. We went to the Petco, we went to the foster mother to, meet the cat and the kitten and everything. So we're definitely going to be picking that kitten up this weekend after Thanksgiving. So we're planning to do all that stuff. That's why I've basically been very busy. So, yeah, all that stuff there. Thank you guys for joining tonight. Don't forget to tune into the Flyers recap, which will be posted most likely in the next hour and a half or so, determining on how long it takes to upload. And yeah, that's basically it. So thank you guys for joining tonight. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SEATGEEK. Great deal. Don't pass it up. Join the TTP Sports family and everything like that. Fun times here. We got Eagles tomorrow. We're going to have the Flyers recap later tonight. Going to be very busy this next, 24 hours. So, yeah, let's have some fun here. So, I'll see you guys in a little bit for the Flyers recap in terms of recording process.